thought about some sort of Irish whiskey, weren't sure,
Just chief.
but
Yep.
Paul Mullen?
Come on.
Yeah, come on in,
Yep.
everybody, come on in.
You guys want to start this, you guys? Okay.
Yeah, wherever. Make yourself at home. All right.
Welcome. There's cookies over there, come on, cookie for the meeting. My sister was in confession this.
okay, please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the prayer. Grant us, O Lord, light to our understanding, prudence in our investigating, foresight in our planning, sincerity in our deliberating, the grace to follow truth in our judgment. Help us to be moved in our decision, neither by fear nor by self-interest, and to do our work faithfully. May we respect the authority vested in us, without the source of all authority, and may we use it in our directives for the common good, for their honor and glory. Amen. Call to order, roll call, please.
Mrs. Joyce,
Here.
Mrs. Hardwick,
Present.
Mrs. Mara, Mr. Conrad,
Present.
Mr. Thompson.
Okay, first on the agenda is public comment. Anyone wishing to speak, you have 3 minutes, please approach the podium. No comments, okay, moving on. We get on to the reading and disposition of the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve regular council meeting minutes of November 19, 2024, please? Mr. Joyce makes a motion. Do I have a
Second.
Mr. Conrad seconds, discussion. Any corrections, errors? Unheard, roll call, please.
Mr. Joyce, Mrs. Joyce, Mrs. Hardwick,
Aye.
Mrs. Mara, Mr. Conrad,
Aye.
Mr. Thompson.
You. Next, I have a motion to accept special council meeting minutes of November 21st, 2024. I have a motion to approve, please.
Make a motion?
Mrs. Mara makes a motion.
I will
I'll second.
Mr. Thompson seconds. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Joyce,
Aye.
Mrs. Joyce,
Aye.
Mrs. Hardwick,
Aye.
Mrs. Mara, Mr. Conrad, Mr. Thompson.
Moving on to legislation.
You want to do the swear-ins first and we can come back to the other stuff?
Yeah,
that'd be great.
That was great.
Yeah.
No problem.
Okay. That out of the way.
So where are we starting at?
I think it's resolution 51D.
Want to go ahead and read it and then we'll. have-
Oh, you want to do these first?
we'll
Yeah.
do the resolution and have them come up and swear them in and we'll do each one.
Okay, which one are we on? E?
We're on D.
E. Okay. Resolution 2024-51. Resolution authorizing the mayor to hire Officer Brandon Kubis as an auxiliary patrolman for the Timberlake Village Police Department and declare an emergency. Do I have a motion to suspend the rules, please?
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Joyce, Mrs. Joyce, Miss
Aye.
Mara,
Aye.
Mr. Conrad, Mr. Thompson.
Okay, do I have a motion accepting, sorry, adopting rule resolution 2024-51, please?
Move to approve. Move to approve.
Mr. Thompson makes a motion. Mr. Joyce seconds. Discussion?
Mr. Cubes is a
Can you turn your mic on, please?
Your mic. Turn on the green. There you go.
There we go. Every time I gotta. I gotta learn how to use all this stuff, so.
Oh, in training.
Right, exactly. Thank you. Mr. Cubes, actually, went to the academy with my daughter. So this is going to be his first appointment as a police officer in the state of Ohio. Very excited, to come aboard and to really start learning as a police officer, going to be donating his time to us for the next 3 months as an auxiliary, helping out, learning,
And and I've heard he's one heck of a shot on the range, so which is good. So we'll see tomorrow for sure whether he is or not. So no pressure. Uh, no pressure at all. So, but I'm looking forward to having him here and being a part of the Timberlake Police Department.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, any other discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Joyce,
Aye.
Mrs. Joyce,
Aye.
Mrs. Hardwick,
Aye.
Mrs. Mara, Mr. Conrad, Mr. Thompson.
Aye.
Okay. It's for you.
Makes it better picture.
Solemnly swear. That I will support the Constitution of the United States. That I will support the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of Ohio. And the Constitution of the State of Ohio. The laws and ordinances of the village of Timberlake. The laws and ordinances of the village of Timberlake. And I will faithfully. And I will faithfully. Honestly and impartially. Honestly and impartially. Discharge the duties of the auxiliary patrolman. Discharge the duties of the auxiliary of the village of Timberlake Police Department. Of the village of Timberlake Police Department. State of Ohio. State of Ohio. During my continuance in said office. During my continuance in said office. So, yeah.
Welcome.
Which one's next here?
52, Eli on here.
E, okay. Okay, next, resolution 2024-52, resolution authorizing the mayor to hire Officer Eli DeKema as an auxiliary. Dykema? Dykema. Eli Dykema as an auxiliary patrolman for the Timberlake Village Police Department and declare an emergency. Do I have a motion to suspend the rules, please?
So move.
Mr. Conrad makes a motion.
Second.
Mr. Joyce seconds. Roll call, please.
Mr. Joyce,
Aye.
Mrs. Joyce,
Aye.
Mrs. Hardwick,
Aye.
Mrs. Mara, Mr. Conrad,
Aye.
Mr. Thompson.
Aye.
Thank you. Do I have a motion approving resolution 2024-52, please?
Move to approve.
Mr. Thompson makes a motion.
Second.
Mrs. Mara seconds. Discussion.
Eli is also, I'll blame my daughter again, academy graduate with my daughter, worked for the University Circle Police Department for some time. And has been doing landscaping and looking for a family-oriented police department. And I guess my daughter sold him very well, so both of them very well. So I was like, okay, great. So he's eager to come aboard. He actually, today was his first shift. He drove around for, I think, almost 9 hours or so. Yeah. Yeah, so he was here for today, learning a little bit, being trained by another officer. So he's eager to go, was excited about his first day.
Great,
Who
wonderful.
was your chief at University Circle?
It's not Chief Wetzel, was it?
Was it Wetzel?
Great guy.
Okay.
Tom,
Yes.
guy.
We know.
I got hired there, he recently had hired.
Good guy.
Mhm.
Good, great. All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Joyce. Aye. Mrs. Joyce.
Aye.
Mrs. Hardwick.
Aye.
Mara,
Aye.
Mr. Conrad, Mr. Thompson.
Aye.
Okay. Come on up.
Tom, you want to sing for me?
That's your, plan.
All right, Tom, appreciate it.
Thank
Thank you.
The next one will go back on to Okay.
Ready? Moving on, next is resolution 2024-53, a resolution confirming the appointment of Officer Fred Beverly as a part-time corporal for the Timberlake Village Police Department and declare an emergency. Do I have a motion to suspend the rules, please? Mr. Joyce makes a motion. Mrs. Mara seconds. Roll call, please.
Mr. Joyce, Mrs. Joyce, Mrs. Hardwick.
Aye.
Mrs. Mara, Mr. Conrad, Mr. Thompson.
Aye.
Thank you. Next, we'll have a motion approving resolution 2024-53, please.
Move to approve.
Mr. Thompson makes a motion. Do I have a second? Mrs. Joyce seconds. Chief, discussion.
Fred was here before, and we swore him back in. One of the things he wanted to do was he wanted additional responsibility within the department. And he's actually been doing a great job with attempting to train new officers as well as helping out with scheduling. We've had a couple shifts that we needed to quick fix and fill on, and Fred's jumped in the thing and eager to do more and more and more. So it's great to have someone back that's eager to help and be a part of this, our new team and our new police department in the village of Timberlake.
Great. Glad to have it. Okay.
Just because.
Yeah. Any other discussion on? Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Joyce,
Aye.
Mrs. Joyce.
Aye.
Mrs. Hardwick,
Aye.
Mrs. Mara, Mr. Conrad, Mr. Thompson.
Aye.
Nope.
And we're moving to resolution, 57. It's under J.
Jay, okay. Okay, resolution number 2024-57, a resolution authorizing the mayor to hire Rashad Whitfield as part-time patrolman for the Timberlake Village Police Department and declare an emergency. I have a motion to suspend the rules, please. Mr. Joyce makes a motion.
Second.
Mrs. Joyce seconds. Roll call, please.
Mr. Joyce,
Aye.
Mrs. Joyce,
Aye.
Mrs. Hardwick,
Aye.
Mrs. Mara, Mr. Conrad, Mr. Thompson.
Aye.
Thank you. Do I have a motion approving resolution 2024-57, please?
Move to approve.
Mr. Thompson makes a motion. Mrs. Mara seconds. Discussion.
Rashad Whitfield was former Ohio Investigative Unit officer, and he's also worked for Case Western Reserve University Police Department. Now he also works in the insurance industry as an investigator. So he's coming on part-time and actually is also volunteered to help out, and if we need a detective to help out on some investigations, since he has background in there. So it would be additional plus for us to have someone of that ability to fill in when we need, to truly be, not saying that we're making him a detective, but if someone to help out investigate something that maybe we need additional assistance on, that has background in investigations experience. So I believe he'd be a great fit to our department.
Very good. Anyone have any questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Joyce,
Aye.
Mrs. Joyce, Mrs. Hardwick, Mrs. Mara, Mr. Conrad, Mr. Thompson.
Aye.
Yeah, okay. All right. So are there any more then?
That's it.
Now or?
We gotta do Nikki Award. He's finally here. We approved him last time, but he's finally here.
Okay. We'll just
Swear him in.
We just have to swear him in?
Yep.
Let's do it now.
So, yes, yep. So Nikki Award, if you guys remember, Nikki Award was with us for quite some time, at the Cleveland Municipal School District with Lieutenant. He also has, good knowledge of IT. So
great.
yes. So I just told him today, I said, I got some big plans for you. So he smiled, so. So it's great to have him back. And I said, enjoy the coffee. We have nice coffee maker.
Now we do.
Yes, the little things in life that make me happy.
Yeah. I'm here, I'm here, found this, the problem is work, but I support the Constitution, the United States, of the United States, the Constitution, of the state of Ohio, of the state of Ohio, the laws and ordinances, of the village of Timberlake, of the
Chief said he's not coming in, we're not doing it. So-
Thanks for the swearing in. You're welcome to stay. It's not gonna get any more exciting. So
You never know.
we will not be offended if you decide to.
Can we plug it for a few pictures, maybe real quick?
Sure, you go right ahead, do a few pictures. Looks so much fun.
And he's all dressed up.
Skipping. That would be a sight.
Okay. Okay. Pictures of you guys real quickly on the flag.
Wherever you want. Just don't take out one of the lights on the ceiling. You know.
I just want to let the new gentleman police know that, the kitchen, you are welcome to use the kitchen. There's a stove that's usually not lit, so there's a microwave, refrigerator. There's a freezer, so if you bring a frozen food or something, you're welcome to whatever you need to do in the kitchen.
So they tortured me, last week, they were baking cookies. While I was in the office, I'm like, this is horrible, I said, if you guys break anything, I'll test it, make sure that. You're safe.
Oh, he kept coming and testing, he did.
Get a couple, so. Save.
First of the job, right?
Yeah,
It's
thank
big
you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, we'll move on and we'll wait till he gets in there. Right. Well, we don't even get to that.
And that one kid.
Thank you. Belongs to who? Except
Yeah.
strong. I'll go get you a cup. You want me to? We're real happy. Want some?
Good.
So.
Oh, yeah. Wait till you bite into it.
Everybody want to grab coffee? It's there in the pot there. Forgot we had that possibly. Thank you.
I bought. I purchased two nicer ones that have that pump.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
Wait. For what?
I go grab them. Want the cheese back?
No. Kevin.
Just gotta hit the
Something.
thumb thing,
There you go.
the thumb thing.
The thingy.
Talk about
I'm sure there's an
zero.
official term.
The thumb press, I don't know. That's real cream. Yeah. Those cookies, those are, your wife made those?
What's that?
Your wife made those cookies?
Not these ones, but, it was a small batch for the officers, probably only like a few in there.
It was good.
All right, no more questions. Let's move on. All right, moving on, legislation. Resolution 2024-25. Third reading, resolution approving the permanent appropriations for the village of Timberlake, Ohio for the year 2025 and declaring an emergency. Do I have a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Mr. Joyce makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Conrad seconds. Discussion?
So this final reading incorporates all the changes, with the, new chief and, any new positions that were added have been added to, the, appropriate, areas, so.
Will this include transfer to refund you say that something else?
No, that's a separate resolution.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Joyce? Aye. Mrs. Joyce?
Aye.
Mrs. Hardwick?
Aye.
Mrs. Martin?
Aye.
Conrad,
Aye.
Mr. Thompson.
Aye.
Next, resolution 2024-26. A resolution authorizing the fiscal officer to transfer $15,000 from the general fund 1,000 to police cruiser fund 4901 for the current fiscal year 2024 and declare an emergency. Do I have a motion to approve, please?
I make a motion?
Mrs. Meyer makes a motion.
A second.
Mrs. Joyce seconds. Discussion?
So this is a potential transfer we've been talking about all year.
After we transfer the police line, we'll have $55,000 in the police car capital fund first.
Okay.
And pertinent to that, I did talk to Patrolman Schilling. He's looking into grant funding for this police cruiser. More details on that. So we might have additional funding. Have a match should we fit.
I have a question, based on our, conversation, prior to the start of this meeting, in the sewer committee meeting, there was a discussion of a certain amount of money that had to be, allocated or, moved. Does this affect that at all, or is that,
No,
okay?
no, that's a separate, that's the payment for that would be coming out of the, 2901 sanitary sewer maintenance. So
We have
that's
money in there to cover that?
right,
I think that's at roughly
It's a-
120
about 129 or 130,000 or so.
in there from our collections
Yeah.
from the service charge on it.
All right, but that will affect the general fund ending the year end then, right? We're gonna be
This,
talking about
this resolution. Yeah, this resolution, that the sewer,
Well, it
payment
won't-
would not,
won't affect the
If-
sewer, okay.
no.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Joyce,
Aye.
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 Conrad, Mr. Thompson.
Aye.
Thank you. Next is resolution 2024-27, a resolution authorizing the fiscal officer to transfer $41,322 from the general fund 1,000 to the paving improvement OPWC debt service fund 3902 for the fiscal year 2025 and declare an emergency. Do I have a motion to approve, please?
I make a motion?
Samara makes a motion. Do I have a second? Mrs. Joyce seconds. Discussion?
So the original agreement for the street improvement loan pledged funds from the general. So that's why this happens every year. So this is that loan. There's a couple years left on the loan, so
Okay.
we're almost.
We're about to make our biannual installment of 19,778 towards Fund 3902 is that same loan. Is our payment going up or is there just some overage to cover?
There's two payments that come out. There's one that goes to the bonds, which is the larger payment on the bottom of that. Yeah, there's a smaller payment that goes.
Some 41,000.
So that includes two different loans. So there's an interest-free loan to the state of Ohio. And then there's one with CMP Bank, which is Erie Bank.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Mr. Joyce, Mrs. Joyce, Mrs. Hardwick,
Aye.
Mrs. Mara,
Aye.
Mr. Conrad, Mr. Thompson.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Next is resolution 2024-54, a resolution correcting certain resolutions passed in November 21st, 2024, special council meeting for the village of Timberlake, Ohio, and declare an emergency. Do I have a motion to suspend the rules, please?
So moved.
Mr. Joyce makes a motion.
Second.
Mr. Conrad seconds. Roll call, please.
Mr. Joyce.
Aye.
Joyce.
Aye.
Mrs. Hardwick.
Aye.
Mara.
Aye.
Mr. Conrad, Mr. Thompson.
Aye.
Thank you. I have a motion approving resolution 2024-54, please.
Move to approve.
Mr. Thompson makes a motion.
Second?
Mrs. Mara seconds. Discussion?
So there were 4 typographical errors in the resolutions that were passed at the November 21st special council meeting. So this resolution is noting those corrections.
Okay,
And for the record, some of those were not our fault.
Correct.
They were given, the names were given to us inaccurately. But in order to correct the record, we thought it would be good if we got that on the record.
All right, question, do the minutes reflect those corrections or are the minutes still wrong?
The minutes would reflect what was read at the meeting.
Okay, so we'll correct that in the next set of minutes.
Right.
I guess so, yeah.
Okay.
Although,
well, this automatically corrects
Right.
it because this will be in these
Yeah, it's just
minutes.
that,
The key here is that we're really, what we're doing is we're correcting actually those resolutions, aren't we?
yes,
So it's just the language in those resolutions, so that they're up to date, so when they go into the book.
they'll have the accurate names.
okay, so
Yeah.
the minutes really don't matter. Is what you're saying. They don't matter in this case.
Correcting the minutes in and of itself will not.
Correct the spelling.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you for finishing my sentence.
No problem.
You can always count on it. See what you got to look for.
Hey, it's a
You
close.
can run now. No.
No.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
We'll allow it.
We didn't need you.
And
No.
Timberlake,
Yes.
Yeah.
would be mistyped in Timberlake Times based off of what information we had at the time, which would actually make the minutes.
The minutes are
accurate.
actually accurate based on what was read at the meeting though, so.
All right,
Okay,
Sorry about
I feel
that.
like I'm in a time machine.
hot tub time machine.
all right. Roll call, please.
Mr. Joyce.
Aye.
Mrs. Joyce, Mrs. Hardwick, Mrs. Mara, Mr. Conrad, Mr. Thompson.
Aye.
Okay, next is resolution 2024-55, a resolution amending the permanent appropriations for the village of Timberlake, Ohio for the year 2024 and declare an emergency. Do I have a motion to suspend the rules, please? Mrs. Joyce makes a motion.
Second.
Mr. Joyce seconds. Roll call, please.
Mr. Joyce,
Aye.
Mrs. Joyce, Mrs. Hardwick,
Aye.
Conrad, Mr. Thompson.
Aye.
Thank you. Do I have a motion approving resolution 2024-55, please?
Move to approve.
Mr. Thompson makes a motion.
I'll second.
Mrs. Mara seconds. Discussion.
So this resolution is amending our permanent appropriations to allocate $100,000 from the 01 sanitary sewer fund to
To the city of Eastlake, but as discussed, we are holding
that payment. However, at least we'll have the funds available when what happens. So
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Joyce,
Aye.
Mrs. Joyce, Mrs. Hardwick,
Aye.
Mrs. Mara, Mr. Conrad, Mr. Thompson.
Thank you. Next resolution 2024-56, a resolution authorizing the mayor and fiscal officer to enter into an agreement with Love Insurance Agency to provide for a continuation of property and casualty insurance coverage for the village property and declare an emergency. Do I have a motion to suspend the rules, please?
I'll make a motion.
Mrs. Mara makes a motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Joyce seconds. Roll call, please.
Mr. Joyce,
Aye.
Mrs. Joyce, Mrs. Hardwick,
Aye.
Mrs. Mara, Mr. Conrad, Mr. Thompson.
Thank you. Do I have a motion approving resolution 2024-56, please?
Move to approve.
Mr. Thompson makes a motion.
Second.
Mrs. Mara seconds. Discussion.
So this is for our 2025 insurance premium. I think it went up a couple $1,000s, but it's better than I anticipated. So
Look like the deductible stayed constant, which is-
yeah, it's similar. So I think the premium's about 16,500 and plus or minus a few dollars. So
Anyone have any questions? Any other discussion?
I was surprised to find that the building on the land over there, the shop or the maintenance garage is our building, so it's insured. It's just the land that we lease. That was something new to me. I thought it was all leased from our neighbors at the Eastlake Power Plant, or what formerly known as the Eastlake Power Plant, but
Yeah.
figured I'd share that tidbit.
All right.
We own the building, right?
Yep.
Yes.
And and we find out we own the land too, or?
No,
No,
the
we
land
don't
is
own
still
the land.
leased for a reasonable sum of $1.
$1 a
$1
year.
a year.
correct,
haven't
which they
renewed it
never
yet.
sent a bill.
Is it an evergreen
Yeah.
agreement?
Yeah.
So
Are
they
they
say
gonna come
it's
back
not, I
and
guess.
negotiate with it?
Yeah, right.
Which building?
Get it down to 50
The
cents.
service garage.
Okay. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Joyce,
Aye.
Mrs. Joyce,
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Conrad,
Aye.
Mr. Thompson.
Okay, next is resolution 2024-59, a resolution authorizing the mayor and fiscal officer to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the city of Eastlake related to alleged past due balance and wastewater conveyance treatment and disposal and declare an emergency. We're going to put this on first reading, correct?
I think the one above it, I think we're gonna put on first read. I think Vincent may join us at some point.
He may, yes.
You may.
So we can leave that one on first read if you wanna read that one there.
All right, I'll read that one then. Resolution 2024-58. A resolution, this will be first reading, a resolution authorizing the mayor to hire Vincent Kangalasi as a part-time patrolman for the Timberlake Village Police Department and declare an emergency. Okay, so next is resolution 11-2024. This is third reading, an ordinance amending wages and salaries for the employees of the village of Timberlake, Ohio, and declare an emergency. Do I have a motion to approve, please?
Make a motion.
Mrs. Meyer makes a motion.
Second.
Mr. Joyce seconds. Discussion.
So this final version of the ordinance, it's the change, chief's compensation, and then added positions such as captain and I believe corporal might have been added also, but I'm not certain, or one of them was added besides that. And then also it has the other changes that were discussed previously with including the increase of $1 per hour for our officers in the service department.
Does that include the additional stipend for you to?
Correct. It also includes an additional includes a stipend for me as for the previous secretary of council position. So
I just want to make sure that was included.
correct.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Joyce,
Aye.
Mrs. Joyce, Mrs. Hardwick,
Aye.
Mrs. Mara, Mr. Conrad, Mr. Thompson.
Thank you. Next, moving on to reports. Don't have much to report, but I know that we'll be putting out the Lumineers next week. It'll be on Christmas Eve, so everyone will be pitching in, doing them. So it'll be going like every year. The only difference is this year we won't have Ron Mona, God rest his soul, that, you know, he was always in control of it and led the way. But we have our service department guys, Brent Gardner, he's gonna be pretty much on call. So if you have any questions, you can contact me or him or anyone else really on the Village Club. Nancy will fill you in more about the Village Club and what they have, you know, what's going on with the Lumineers, but pretty much that's it. And then we got through that first major snowstorm. It was brutal, but we got through it.
I understand we have a new service department.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, looked a lot like you.
looked a lot like me, but it wasn't me. I was,
Driving the
Richard
plow
Chase,
truck.
he looked like him.
he was incognito. But I enjoyed it. I really did.
It
So
couldn't have been you. You didn't have flip flops. So it's just-
that's right. But yeah, that's about it. So other than that. Oh, and the concert we had was phenomenal. We had the orchestra here. Like I said, I'm sure everyone else will pitch in and chime in as far as, you know, how impressed they were, but I was very, very impressed with it. They did a great job, and actually, we lucked out with the weather because the week before, if we would have tried, it would have never happened. So we got lucky because we got the rain to melt the snow, then we got the real cold to freeze a little bit of the crust on top of the grass so that we can park the vehicles on the median. So we lucked out on that. So it was just a little frigid parking the cars, but we got through it. Okay, and that's all I have for now, and then moving on to Mr. O'Leary, solicitor
I
report.
got two things. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna introduce Mr. Ganakis, who's here with us this evening. You wanna stand up for a minute? I've known Spears for 10, 12, long time. He's a good friend, excellent attorney. And I wanted to introduce you. This is Mayor Mara, Councilman Thompson. Ryan Conrad, whenever possible, we don't let him have a microphone. That, you know, Mr. Roscoe. And then our chief. And then Nancy Mara, Cindy Hardwick, if there's ever trouble, it starts there. And then the Joyce twins. He's Joe's friend, so. So what I'm gonna do.
I know your sister taught our kids at Holy Cross.
Still there?
Yes, she's the principal now, right? Yeah, yeah.
So what I'm gonna do after tonight, because I don't wanna take his whole night, we, you know, got other things to take care of. We just left Joe's already tonight, because you were at a basketball game. Baseball, that's right, because he coaches baseball.
Oh, my.
So.
Starting early.
So anyway, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send out his information for contact purposes. I would encourage you over the next couple of weeks to give him a call. If you can get together with him, that'd be great. If not, even a telephone conversation, you get a comfort level. I feel very comfortable in recommending him to take over. He and I'll work together on any transitions. If he can't make a meeting and I can make it, by all means, I'll help out. I'll step in as the assistant if you want me to do that in order to help him out. Sure, baseball season will be rough. So, yeah, so anybody have any quick questions for him?
Do you know what you're stepping into?
I trust him.
Did you notice where his fingers?
It's been really. He cleaned up as many messes before he got here.
Jim's been really good to me over the years. I'm spoiled. I work with my father, outside of Euclid. I got to know Jim really well over the last 10 to 12 years, but, again, I work the same courts that Jim does and did. So I'm looking forward to this. So, and he's not going to be. So I told him, if this is going to happen, it's going to happen. Have to keep us going.
And it's on video, so we got those words.
All right. I'll see you
Spirit.
then.
Welcome, welcome.
It's nice seeing everyone. Nice meeting everyone.
Take care.
Give you my cell phone. That's the best way to get a hold of me. Again, my office down the street, but They're the jam, usually bounce from out, so the cell phone.
Okay.
Thanks.
Take care.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. See you guys. Forward to seeing you guys again soon.
Merry
Sure.
Okay, so that was the first thing. The second thing is I do want to say thank you. It's been an interesting couple of years. I just think it's funny. I was thinking back, my interview during COVID was over Zoom. And sitting in my dining room talking to you over this little screen. And I have really enjoyed getting to know most of you, all of you. And really getting to be part of the community. I love coming to the events as best I can. And we'll continue to do that. And I do mean that. I will help him out any way he needs. If he needs coverage for a meeting or to cover stuff with the police department, I'm more than willing to do that because I'm already going to be in Willoughby Community Court with Berkeley Hills. So anyway, thank you.
So you're really not going anywhere. You're around.
Be around.
Okay.
Well, I probably will. Yeah, if he invites me. I did get my captain's ticket, so for next year. That doesn't help you. That's
Okay.
all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Village Hall, Southwick.
The Village Hall, I've already got maybe 10 reservations for next year already. But I would like to address council for just a second here. Because the two has crossed, but they don't cross, and this is regarding Village Club. The parent committee that is now like an offshoot of Village Club. 3 wonderful young mothers have really brought forth a lot of children's activities. And they really go out of their way to, I mean, Halloween was crazy. It was so nice. And then we had Santa here and they did the Easter egg hunt or whatever. And John Roskus, what could we invite Lakeline residents, children to come to our children's events? I mean, would it,
I don't see why
Do they
not.
do much as far as?
I mean, Lakeline I mean, the only thing we do is, we have like a, annual holiday party. But typically besides that, not too much. Much.
You're inviting people. That says, we are forming. And this is what we're forming for.
You recommend
Right?
that, John?
The only thing we were in this club was, and that was a there was a women
Will be metal.
Twenty.
Police department.
Yeah, because that's.
Just kidding.
That's all I got.
Yeah, thank you. Joyce, in finance?
Nothing to report from finance. Thank you, John, for all that you do with regard to keeping us. You know, we're able to, set aside, money to fund the police cruiser, notwithstanding the possibility of a grant, which would be terrific if we can. You know, it'll be interesting to see how the negotiations with Eastlake go, to see where we are with that. But even with that, we were sort of planning for that aspect of it. And again, thanks, John, for keeping us on the straight and narrow there. Brian, congratulations on the grants. You've definitely offset your salary this year. Chief, great job on finding so many candidates to fill the schedule when we were under the impression that we just couldn't get any applicants to actually come to work for us. And it's just great to see that the number of people that you know, through your contacts and through your professional relationships, you've been able to bring in, and not just new people, but, you know, experienced people, and able to sort of set up that ability to cascade the knowledge down. And I love the fact that you got a couple of newbies that are coming in here and learning the ropes right from the start, and learning under really good circumstances, because you got some good people in place that can train them. So congratulations. I think that's fabulous. You have in the short time you've been here, you're proving to us that we made the right decision. And then finally, it has been a pleasure working with you, Mr. O'Leary. I know that we had a difficult time this year with some of the problems that we're facing the village and council. You know, you shepherded us through that, and you kept a calm demeanor throughout, and really appreciate that. The outcome at the end of it all worked out very well. And personally and professionally, I'll miss you. But I hope that you don't make yourself a stranger. You do come back for various village things. I think that once you get Timberlake in your blood, it's sort of like those nanobots. They don't ever leave, you know. It's going to be something that you're sort of stuck with. So you and Laura are always welcome to come back, from my perspective. And to all of the council, it has been a real pleasure working with all of you this year. We have had certainly some ups and downs, some really positive meetings, and some tough meetings where we were dealing with some pretty tough issues. We all remained, well, most of us remained calm, and we saw it through to the end. And at the end of the day, I think that we're on the right path now. So Merry Christmas to all of you. Look forward to working with all of you next year, and see where we go. So that's it. Yeah.
I just have two things. We are continuing to work on our emergency plan, and you know, as we talk about it, I've recruited Jerry to help on the committee as well. There are three of us now. But we're just, you know, a lot of ongoing kind of discussions of things, of how things might work. So I'm hoping to have maybe a working document we can look at either at the January meeting or February, depending on how the information gathering goes. But I did want to say that concert was just delightful. I invited my sister to come, and it really just, the July one was delightful, but it just gives you that kind of throwback feeling of being in a small town America, neighbors getting together, singing, and it just was really fun. It really was. And I know it's a lot of work goes into it and a lot of trepidation about whether or not people are going to respond. But it was just a really nice event. So great way to start off the holiday season. So, and Mr. O'Leary, thank you so much for fielding all of our questions, phone calls, and angst. So we wish you well in your semi-retirement. May all your clients be pleasant.
Did catch the project here. Project, so.
There you go. Yeah.
Good. Oh,
Thank you for all your service towards us. That's many wounds. Can't heal. Dodging those bullet holes. Cindy, thank you for a great concert. That was a great concert. Village Club President does it again. Mayor, thank you for putting up with all the parking and putting up with me bugging you about the parking. Thank you, everybody on council this year. I think we've all come to the point in our careers here where we always agree to disagree, and that's what I like about this council. That we could disagree, but we can still agree. So happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and that's all I have tonight.
good. Thank you. Mr. Thompson. The president.
Tree at the moment. That's good. But I did want to point out and thank the mayor also for all the snow plowing that you did during that storm. And it wasn't just a storm, it was like a whole week. It was like multiple days, just, you know, and it went into the night and it just kept coming down. You brush off your car and a couple hours later, it'd be 2 feet of snow on your car. It was brutal. And I know it seems to some of the public, it probably seems self-serving that we're always patting each other on the back for things up here, you know, the good job on the grants, Ryan, and good job for the work the mayor does. But I think it's important to point out some of the things and give credit where credit is due, because a lot of the public don't know. The average citizen doesn't know what's going on behind the scenes. And when I moved in 2019, I would have just expected the streets to be plowed because every community has streets plowed. And I would have assumed that it would be either an agreement with Eastlake or our service department doing it. I would not have expected the mayor to be out there at 3 in the morning plowing the streets. And now here I am, and I know what's happening. Like you said, we have a new service department member, and it kind of looks like the mayor. And you know, the mayor doesn't complain about it, but that's gotta be hard. You know, that's gotta be tiring, because I'm sure the mayor also has, like all of us, have things going on during the day, you know, and that's not easy to be out at 3 in the morning and then be able to function at 8 in the morning doing something, you know, else. So thank you. We do really appreciate it. I wish there was a way to fix this so you didn't have to do it, but it is what it is for now. Thank you.
Thank you.
My family and I attended the Christmas party, I guess you could call it, for the kids. Going back to what Cindy said about the village hall, they always put on such a good job for the children. The Halloween party, I mentioned that last council, and I'll mention the Christmas. It was very nice. They had stations where kids could make things, and there was all kinds of junk food, and Santa was here. And so far, my son has been to a couple events, and he was a little shy about Santa. And this time, because it's in the hall, it's different when you go to Chardon Square or Willoughby. You're out in the cold waiting to see Santa. It's not a fun experience. But here, it's a very intimate experience with fellow Timberlake villagers inside the hall. So he was able to hang and chill out for a couple hours, and Santa's just sitting there, not harming a soul. And he realized that, and it warmed him up to Santa. And then he finally went over and wanted to sit on Santa's lap for the first time. So, you know, on his own accord. So that was a very nice experience. And also circling back to hall improvements, he insists that this fireplace is functional because he's obsessed with fireplaces right now. So my 2-year-old son. So he thinks we should have a functional fireplace and fire it up, and that would be a nice.
And it is functional, isn't it? It is functional.
We never
It
used
does.
it. We should,
Gas logs.
It's totally,
They're gas logs.
totally functional.
Yeah, we should fire
We've had it on before.
on our,
We've had it on before.
especially during like Christmas occasions. It'd be really cool. He would appreciate that.
We had it, I think on January 1st, when we had a party this year.
But anyway, it was a great time, and I always encourage people, especially with young kids, to attend these events. because they do an excellent job. It's great for building memories. It's something we want to do every single year in our childhood. Well, every year I went to that Timberlake Christmas party, things like that. So, what else? I would also like to thank Chief Dolben, that you've been able to attract so much law enforcement talent in such a short period of time is most welcome. I don't think we've had 3-4 applicants in a 6-month period, so it's been quite astonishing to see resolution after resolution after resolution, bringing on people to our force. So thank you very much for taking the bull by the horns, and doing so well in such a short period of time.
Gotta put it on a hold now. I got a bunch of applications in my mailbox. now.
Right.
Good problem to have.
Right, it is.
It's the point where you're not
Season of
gonna get
miracles.
flowers.
Right.
But we really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And of course, Mr. O'Leary. See ya.
Don't let the door hit you on the way.
Right.
Well, we'll miss you. We'll miss you. I'm sure we'll miss you more than you'll miss us. But we appreciate your counsel, and we hope they won't be a stranger.
Thank you.
I guess that's it. Merry Christmas to everybody.
Yeah, we saw it.
Don't forget, we have a clam bake.
I do.
I saved that newspaper article. I don't know if Chief wants it for
Sure, absolutely.
the department.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on, Mr. Ross's fiscal monthly financial report.
So our general fund ending balance for November 30th is $513,710. Our monthly revenue for November was $27,484 versus expenditures of $55,107 for a net deficit for the month of $28,322. Our expenditures were $6,882 more than estimated due to higher than expected payroll costs, storm cleanup, and the purchase of the new police radios, which partially came out of our general fund. This was not included in our original estimate for the year. November 2024 revenue was in line with estimates. Our overall year-to-date revenue was $105,757 higher than last year at this point. And our income tax revenue is $94,582 more than last year, year-to-date. Based on our current estimated spending rates and stable revenue throughout the rest of the year, we estimate a surplus for the general fund. Skip down to the second number since we didn't transfer the money to the capital fund. So we'd be looking at an estimated surplus at the end of the year of $147,917. It looks like we will be a little bit below that since our income tax so far this month is not up to expectations. So probably be a little bit lower than that. And some other significant fund activity and miscellaneous. We paid our biannual installment in the amount of $19,755.78 towards our paving improvement OPWC loan fund, and that's fund 3902. And those funds originally come from the general fund. And finally, we had 3 refunds totaling $300 from our fund 9901 all rental security deposit refund.
Yeah. Thank you. Next, police chief report. Chief Dolben.
I want to say, first of all, thank you for the opportunity. I'm really blessed to be here in this position, so thank you. My second statement will be, I hope you all are pleased with so far the transition that is going on with the officers. So I hope that's happening. I'll be candid, there's a lot of mess I'm trying to clean up. So we're getting to the bottom of it. Some of the things that, we're working on is, all of our officers are now carrying Narcan on them, thanks to Lake County. So they are trained on Narcan. They all carry Narcan on them, 2 doses. So God forbid they need it, they will be using it. I'm also working on a way for the county to pay for me to become a first aid and CPR instructor. If that works, I will be certifying all of our officers on first aid and CPR as well. So to try to add that benefit to us. You know, I'm also reaching out to a bunch of different organizations, Ryan, and today we got donated 2 spike strips from the United States United States Deputy Sheriff's Association. So spike strips are used to terminate a pursuit, or if you have a vehicle you're trying to stop. So they donated 2 for us. All they asked was, hey, take a picture with either some of your officers by the police cruisers, and you have spike strips if need be. So we already have that. I've also asked for a bunch of stuff. We'll just go that route. We have 6 officers going to Euclid PD tomorrow to qualify with Angry Joe. You know, I reached out to Euclid PD, free of charge, doesn't cost us to go over there. So we're going to be doing some indoor shooting tomorrow for 6 of the officers. We're also going to be scheduling our first outdoor range at Lake County. I should be going out there tomorrow. We have a locker out there, whatever thought. So we're going to be putting our ammunition out there, targets and everything ready. So we're just trying to, I have to go start booking dates out there. So we're going to book a few dates. We're probably going to have 2 ranges a year, one in the spring, one in the fall. So we're working on that as well. Made progress on Ohio Collaborative. Still, I'm getting closer to getting that approved, even though I just kind of got thrown into it. So I'm just basically saying, hey, I'm you. What do we need to do to get this done? So it's actually working. So that's a good thing. So hopefully we'll make progress. That's why I asked for some pictures of officer involvement and community thing. That's one of the things they wanted. They're like, do you have a Facebook page? I go, no, we're about to create one though. So that's one of the things that we'd like to try to do. We're showing officers pictures as well and new things that we're doing so we can let the residents know. I don't want to say village people either, because I'm going to say it, but let the village residents know what we're doing within the department. And so when you see the officer, hey, you approach them. You know, every single officer, new officer says, man, we're joking how nice the people are, you know, and thank you for bringing dinner for them on Thanksgiving. So appreciate that one. The coffee maker, I can't say how many times we use it. I actually had coffee with the mayor the one day in the back of the station. So it's used every day. So thank you on that. Let's see. Got control of our lexical for our policies, which is a whole, also a nightmare because they go, you're done. And I go, no, we're not. I go, the safety director and the law director have not reviewed them. So we're not even close to being done. So I've downloaded them. So we're going to have to really go through all these and figure out what we need to do, what we don't, what is good for us, what's not. But, you know, again, I'm not the final say so. The safety director, safety committee, the law director are going to be the ones going to give us the blessing on it, that these are going to be our policies and procedures. So that's one of the things we're doing on that one. Really working with believe it or not, simple things of working with Willoughby Municipal Court of where do we go? Who do we deal with? We had actually, I know Tony Weiss, who is the chief bailiff over there. I worked with him in the past and I said, hey, we don't even have any cards to get in there. And he's like, well, I gave them to someone. He goes, did you get them? And I go, yeah, I have no idea where they are. I can't find them. I said, can I get 2 new cards? So yesterday I had purposely had Matt Gorse here. So I sent him over there and I said, I have some errands for you to run. You know, we'll be in the municipal court. Let's go over there. I need some, our ID cards. We're going to put one in each one of the cruisers. I had him go to Lake West Hospital, get ID cards too, because we had no credentials. So now we know that our point of contact, reviewing our bond schedule, making sure we have everything up to date that we need to do. Let's just see, there's a ton of things to do. We're working on little things of updating our own internal procedures of how to write a ticket, what to do with these tickets, what to do with all kinds of stuff, you know, where we're going to go and what they're allowed to do. You know, the main involvement is really the village and making sure that we're taking care of the village. But it's also nice that I know that they're on Lakeshore and making an impact on Lakeshore. I won't go into details, but they had a nice arrest on Sunday. So it is happening, you know, and I think it's going to be making a big impact. And you know, kudos to the officers going out there really. And a lot of the new officers that I've kind of given the instructions said, this is our department. Let's build it. So when you got a suggestion, let's do it. So we actually had a new tow form someone came up with and wrote a tow form and said, hey, this would be better for us. I said, let's let's look at a few different examples so we can protect the village, so no one's suing us because we didn't do a proper inventory versus a 2x2 card. And I think I wrote everything on that card, which we did. So believe it or not, it's trying to build the foundation up to, so we are running properly. And believe it or not, there's just so many different hurdles, from Opata to Oleg to leads, and even from ID cards. We're trying to get new ID cards for the officers, and actually that's what I was just emailing. So if you get emails from me late at night or like at 3 o'clock in the morning, I don't sleep much, so that's why I'm sending emails out. But you know, they're trying to, you know, Lake County does our ID cards, so they said they have to make a new template, and it's not on a priority. So I'm like, well, it's kind of a priority for my officers to have ID cards so they can identify themselves as police officers. So hopefully that will get done. Another thing that we worked on was a big area of contention was emails. So, you know, Lake County's belief was you all have to pay the licensing for $292 or something like that. And of course, I always ask the question, well, why? And they're like, well, it's a leads violation. I said, great, but if I don't send any leads from there, am I in violation? They're like, it probably is. So of course I know the head of leads. So I sent her an email, got a confirmation. They're like, yeah, you can use Gmail all day long. And I said, guess what? So all the new officers are going to have Timberlake PD with their badge number at gmail.com. So it costs us no additional money. Should they leave, they turn over that email account. We change the passcodes. There's no leads information going out there. I'm not paying $292 for which is ridiculous. So let's see. I'll keep going. I got a ton of things. So
We got coffee.
yeah, exactly. We got coffee, and I love the coffee maker. So thank you.
You said you didn't take my mic.
Right. You need to take mine. I'll try to keep it short.
You're fucking glove.
I'll keep it short.
This is his first time.
Yeah, I apologize.
He's
got a lot of making up to do to
Yeah, I got a lot of making up to do. So, you know, I've talked to Chief Dave Christopher over at Fairport Harbor. We're going to be doing combined training with various departments. I'm gonna still talk to Chief Warner out there to kind of bug him, then Willowick as well, to try to get a few things. Probably Chief Pappas too, because it seems like everybody keeps dropping our name that we're making improvements, and it's from Lake County Sheriff's Department to Central Dispatch. They're like, hey, it's a new department. I go, oh, absolutely. Even Atwell's, they're like, hey, you guys are smiling. And I said, it's a good place to be at now. So, you know, so it's really trying to combine it. I was actually looking today they were offering free active shooter training. So I was trying to figure out where we could hold it. That's when you said a building, I'm like, where's the building at? Because, you know, but which might be for Fairport Harbor or Eastlake, that it's a free of charge. They come to us, they do the training from Ohio Tactical Association, and they do a training. And it also goes towards our CPT hours for 2025. So we're working on that. We're going to be doing also, officers will be equipped with ASP batons, OC, as well as tasers. So Angry Joe as well. He's he's a trainer for that. So we're going to be doing training to try to prevent too much excess overtime or spending. We're going to try to do, you know, get them all together. It might be arranged because they have a classroom there. We may do all of it together and make a 4-hour block or 5-hour block or 6-hour block and send the officers through. So we're properly trained on that. Working on an auxiliary prep program with Rich. He's doing a wonderful job on there. What we're also doing, let's see, one of the things I reached out to was, I guess I dated myself. I reached out to BCI. And I said, I'd like to have someone come out to the department and inventory or audit our evidence room, because I don't want to go to jail for any reasons. The guy from BCI kind of laughed. He said, well, how old are you? And I'm like, what was that supposed to mean? He's like, we haven't done that in 10 plus years. I'm like, okay, great. So again, I beg, plead, and, you know, and borrow. So I called Lake County, talked to one of the captains over there, and he's like, absolutely. I'll send the guy. He goes, how many days do you need him? I go, not that long. I said, maybe half a day if you want to drink some coffee with me, you know, maybe make it a full day. So, you know, to me, it's the best way so that we know what we have and we have a fresh start. So when we turn this over, there's no issues that's there, because I've heard there's cash up there. I heard there might be firearms up there. So there's some concerns that I have, whatever his findings or the detective's findings are. If he wants to pursue anything, he's going to have to pursue what he wants to pursue. I think it's the best thing for the village so that we are kind of not have any issues there.
So Chief, when you do that, if you find that those are from cases that are closed,
we can do the motion to dispose of
Correct.
those and get them over to Willoughby Community Court. You just need to get me that information and we'll put it together.
Absolutely.
And I have a couple of examples if you want to
Okay,
see what we
perfect.
do.
Yeah, but we're gonna have to do, I'm sure there's a lot of things that we're gonna do, you know, like, we still have the two old shotguns that someone claimed that we can't use. We're gonna look at those and see if we can somehow convert them to less than lethal. So for us, you know, I guess my goal is I want to build a real good relationship with every department. So when they need one of our officers or need a couple of officers, we got them. We can lend them, you know, and so it's to build a better relationship for the community. So, you know, some of the things what I want to do this summer, and I've already got a lot of eager officers. We want to do an OBI checkpoint on Lakeshore 91 this year with OSP. And I'm going to get an East Lake involved as well as that. So we're trying to do that. We're trying to do a lot of things. You know, I started looking at classes, free classes that Opata gives as well. So, you know, we're trying to host them here as well. I reached out to the director of Opata, which didn't go over as well as I hoped it would, but I'm like, hey, we'd like to start. We have a great training facility. You know, we can use anytime we want. So I'll eventually keep pushing enough departments that we'll start holding training here for all the agencies for Lake County and Ashtabula County. Whoever wants to come here and train, they can come train with us. So that's one thing that I want to really try to push on. I did reach out to several also academies, and I'm like, hey, if you have any students that have not sponsored by anybody or graduated, here's my contact information. Please have them contact me. If they're going to do auxiliary program 3 to 4 months, if they make it, then we can maybe move them up on the road from part-time. Every commander from the academy was happy about that, and they're like, we'll share your information. So we're working on making flyers, nicer flyers with showing Timberlake and everything else. So if you see me taking pictures of the cruiser with the lights on, it's not that I'm wackadoo. I'm trying to make marketing stuff out there. It's really out there. You know, there's Ohio law enforcement Facebook page out there. I put a picture, actually took a picture out there the one day it was snowing with the lights on, posted it, said, you know, looking for part-time officers. And my phone probably just wouldn't stop ringing on how many people were interested in coming out to the department. I'm like, hey, I'm kind of good right now. It's just, you know, so that's one of the things we did. We got some of our new vests in that from the first grant that we received. We have one spare vest that I'm actually may be able to reuse for someone else that will be purchasing it. All officers that receive new vests, including myself, will be paying the village back for the 25% portion. Again, this is something that needs to be done. It should be done. And they all signed off agreements that they will pay the village back for the vest. And to me, it's a deal and a half. I have a list ready for the next go around. I already reached out. All we have to do is do the paperwork again, send it in. Started working on the body worn camera grant. I started to dig in there a little bit. I laughed because I talked to Axon, and Axon sent a quote over. And when I looked at it, I had to mute myself so so he didn't hear what I said in the background. So for 3 cameras, if you're ready for this one, 3 cameras, and they give you a new camera. I think it's every 2 years, every 3 years, the data storage and everything else. Almost for 5 years, almost $48,000. And I said, no offense, I'm not even, you know, I'll present it to village council. I'd rather buy myself a Tahoe for the department or pay our officers $5 an hour more than pay $48,000 for cameras. So that was our first quote. So of course I called my dear friend over at Madison Township, and I'm like, what do you guys wear for body cameras? He's like, Motorola Watchdog. And I said, okay. And I ran into my neighbor who's a Middleburg Heights sergeant. I go, what do you guys wear? Motorola Watchdog. So of course I called Motorola Watchdog and said, and I even told him, I go, hey, got a quote from Axon. And he goes, what was it? I go, enough for us to buy a Tahoe, you know. And he goes, yeah. He goes, you should share my quote with them. And I go, I'm not going to do that. So they came back, and we, you know, none of these are fine tuned or anything else, but over 5 years, I think it's a $14,000 quote versus $48,000. Went to another company called Provision, another 5-year quote, and it's $9,000. So, you know, so it's, Axon might have the most superior product. I'm not going to deny that. But, you know, even I had the question with the guy with the tasers, and I said, hey, you know, what's the cost to buy new X10 tasers? And you know, the conversation was too lengthy. And he's like, well, we send a master instructor over. And I go, we have 5 taser instructors right now in the department. I don't need a master instructor. And he's like, well, we'll train them. And I go, just give me a taser. That's all I want to buy is a taser, you know? And he's like, well, but you're going to go open cartridges. And I said, listen, I'm not going to go open cartridges. Then he's trying to sell the master taser instructor. And I said, listen, if I want a master instructor, I'm going to send one of our guys to a master instructor school. Then we're going to be holding classes once a month here and charging people $500 per person to become a taser instructor, because that's what the cost is. And the village could make a boatload of money holding classes all day long. And the quote was like $5,000 per taser. And I'm like, yeah, we're good with what we have. You know, we'll just put new batteries in them, make sure they're juiced up the proper way. We're actually, I've been training. Yeah, thank God. Training the new guys on there. I'm actually going to build a new, kind of stand for us to use for taser instead of the wood, because I almost got zapped the other day when it bounced off the wood, hit me in the arm. Luckily I had a long sleeve shirt on, or I'd probably been convulsing on the floor. So, you know, again, there's a lot to do. You know, I want to go through really up in the storage area and go through that, try to figure out what mess we have up there, clean that out. One of the things I'm going to do, and it's one of, I guess, my giving my back to the department is, of course, I'm a Facebook Marketplace guy. I found some lockers on Facebook Marketplace. So person's out of town until tomorrow. So I'm trying to negotiate a deal. And there's a few guys that have pickup trucks. Something like, we're going to buy 12 lockers. We're going to move things around the garage. We're going to paint the garage up real nice this year. Not costing the village anything. It's coming out of our own hard work and everything else. And we're going to put lockers up for the officers in the garage. And I can tell it, to be honest with you, even from the officers that have been here even longer than me, there's a whole new kind of breath of fresh air, you know, and everybody's just kind of relaxed and enjoying. They're like, this is a great department, you know. And I go, we're building it together. You know, I'm just happen to be at the top right now, but it's just, we're building it together. So come with me with ideas, you know, what you have suggestions. How do we make things better? You know, but I always tell myself, make sure you talk to everybody. And so, like I said, on Thanksgiving, I got the phone call that you brought over the dinner, and he's like, Bailey's great. I go, everybody knows Bailey. So you know, so that's the part. And the funny part was when you did bring up Mr. Joyce about that, it was everybody does bring it up and say, man, you're not joking. Everybody's so welcoming. And I go, it's what it's about. You know, I said, you get to know them, and it's a great village. So, like I said, there's a lot to do. You know, I'm working it so that nobody will hit 40 hours a week in pay. So we're going to avoid overtime if at all possible. Like I said, officers are stepping up like crazy. I actually, one last thing I'll say, but I'll keep my mouth shut for the rest of the evening. I reached out Opata has some free courses. So one of the things that's out there is advanced roadside detection for drunks. I took that course. It's a free course. So I actually signed up Matt Gorse, which is going to be free. He's excited, but his first time he's going to be sent to a class in, I think, 2 or 3 years of him being here. I signed up for another new officer. And then one of the officers that's really getting involved in a lot of things. And I said, do you ever think about doing accident recreation? Doing instruction, you know, recreating accidents? He's like, yeah, I thought about it. And I go, it's a free class. And I'm sure there's not a whole lot of them around here in this area. So, and there's 4 levels till you become a master, you know. So if there's fatalities or anything else, they call these individuals in. I said, might be a great tool for us to be able to brag to people and say, hey, here we go. This is what we have. This is what we have available. So there's a lot of things that trying to, you know, pique their interest and keep them in, you know, staying at this department and saying, you know, hey, we love it. You know, and I've had a few of the new officers are like, if you ever offer full time, we'll take it. And I'm like, okay. You know, so it's a nice feeling to walk in and just, you know, I have my cup of coffee every day, so I'm not even joking about that. Once I pour my coffee and I'm like, this is great. You know, I don't have to drive anywhere or get a cup of coffee, you know, and it's just a nice feeling. And, you know, I have the more senior officers training the younger officers. The younger officers are excited to be here. They're not getting paid, and they're working, and they're exciting. And so that to me is saying a lot. And that's what I want to continue to try to push for, is to make a better department, you know. So we're gonna work on a lot of different things. And so if I seem kind of scatterbrained, there's just a million different things I'm doing behind the scenes through email and everything else and trying to get things going, trying to sign up with the Chiefs Association for Lake County. So I'll get involved on that. I'll be taking part on there. They said you have to do an application. I said, no problem. So we're gonna try to be involved in that. So like they just had an event last weekend, I guess, at the mall. So from now on, there will be a Timberlake officer somewhere. I'm actually getting I have a dress uniform. I took my old patches off. I'm gonna put my Timberlake patches on there. We'll try to get involvement. So if there's anything going, there will be someone from Timberlake going to an event. We will be representing any officers' funerals. We will be going. Hopefully we have none. Someone asked if we could go to Police Memorial. I go, oh yeah, there's gonna be a car down there, but we're gonna start washing our cars better. So they look better. So it's a, to say the least, it's kind of a refreshing to come in here and see. Hopefully you guys, everybody in the village notices a big difference, because that's the goal, And I will share with council all the officers' phone numbers. If you need to get a hold of someone that's on duty, no problem at all. They do know. We serve at the mercy of the village and the mayor and the safety director and the council. So that's our goal, is to provide the best service we can. And like I said, I'm still getting calls on a daily basis. I got 2 applications dropped off today, and I'm like, and one also works for Grand River. I'm like, I wonder if Chief Pappas is going to think I'm stealing everybody. So I'm like, either he's going to call me up pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna hear about that.
Oh, I know. Sure.
Knock it off.
So I even, believe it or not, I try to recruit Mr. O'Leary's son, because I go way back with him for about 15 years now.
You can get him to come and do the drone stuff.
That's what I keep trying.
He's certified now in
I know.
drone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I keep trying, because I keep telling him.
New Jersey.
No, he's not.
Yeah. He's the one flying around Lakewood too. But no, actually, I've talked to him about that, because I'd love to, because I know one time we actually had to have Eastlake deploy their drones out here on the lake looking for someone. So, so it's something that, again, whatever we can do to try to get things for free or get the right people in, that's my goal. Is I want to surround us with the right people, that right officers that are going to go out there and do their, I have one young lady, Alicia Nagy, who was here before, is like, hey, can I get involved with all the events with the village club? And I go, absolutely. I go, here's the person's name is Cindy. I go, reach out to Cindy. So, they do a fundraiser. She does a nonprofit organization. They do fundraisers for injured and fallen officers. So they do a ton of things. She works at Mission Bargain PQ and the city of Mentor. So I go, have at it, knock yourself out. Bypass the middleman. So there's a lot of officers really trying to really take part in really making things different. We're doing cheat sheets for codes for ordinances for traffic violations. I actually just got one emailed to me earlier today. So the officers so when we write a ticket, it's under our ordinance. So the village gets money versus the state of Ohio getting money.
Yeah, the only time you want to be careful about it is if it's a jailable offense.
Correct.
Use the state code, because then we don't get charged for the jail time.
And that's what we did on the OBI on Sunday. Was
Yeah.
the state code was on that one. And he wrote
4511.
5 tickets on that one too. So I was like, yeah, go ahead. And I'm like, the call came in at 11 o'clock at night. He goes, sorry to call you so late. I go, no, we're good. You okay? My first question was like, you okay? And he's like, yeah. He goes, I stepped into something. I go, we're good. Even Lieutenant Brown goes, it was a pretty damn good report he wrote. And I said, yeah, these guys they're really trying, guys and gals are all trying to really make an impact. And, that's the sad part, is I haven't been able to really donate the time to really sit down and going, hey, before you run, this is what we need to do. And that's where we're going to get to. We're going to revise everything, have the proper procedures, proper policy, so they know what they can do, what they can.
But you've made yourself available to them.
All the time.
Okay, so they call you.
They call me anytime they want.
Thank you.
So it's part of it, So, I have a surplus of uniforms, brand new uniforms. So a lot of the new guys, like the auxiliaries, are like, we don't have any uniforms. I go, what size do you wear? And both of them told me, I go, got you some brand new shirts, got you some brand new pants. And I said,
Seeing
like,
a smile on their faces,
Oh,
looking at them,
okay.
their family. When I closed the door, they were all just gawking over them.
oh yeah. And then like I wanted from an OBI task force when I was an OBI king for a while. I got all this like a raincoat and a winter coat. So I took it up to Atwell's. I said, just put a couple of Timberlake patches on there. I'm going to hang them up in the station. So whoever's working can put a raincoat on, So Ward comes in, he's like, how do we get one of those? I go, it's departments now, it's not mine. I says, we just, anybody wants to use it, because after that, when I got sworn in, I was on that car accident for an hour and a half in the snowstorm. I'm not doing that again, so it's just trying to give back, to help out, especially the new officers or other officers, and make them feel appreciated on that, and that's the one thing, is letting them know, hey, I appreciate you, thank you. And, they're excited to going to the range tomorrow in Euclid, and 6 of them are going. I tried pushing my luck, and I go, can I send 12? And they're like, no. How about 6 this time? And I need 6 more in January. And he goes, yeah, we can do that. And I go, there you go. But I asked Eastlake, and they're like 250. And I go, no, it's not happening. I'm not paying any money for a range. I can go to Cleveland. We can go to Cleveland for free, or we can go to Lake County for free. So guess what? I put in a purchase order to get our targets, because we don't have targets. Ammo we're good on. But, probably in a year, probably we're gonna need ammo down the road, but, where there's enough ammo to get us through this, probably 2025, 2026, we'll have to look at it. But we have not a single target. So it's really gonna be putting us in the right direction.
You use just like range targets, just the full body or?
It's a special one for OPATA that they're required by the
Okay.
state of Ohio, so for rifle is different than a pistol.
Not on Amazon.
Yeah, so that's why I was gonna.
Yeah, if you have a picture you want me to use, we can use that,
I think we have one tonight.
Yes, I thought so. You got like 100.
So high,
Yeah.
red hair.
Yeah, that's perfect. So, it's just things like that we don't have, that we have to do. And that's one of the things that, trying to get out there and not trying to kill the budget. But give an example, taser cartridges to like a training taser cartridge is like $50 or more. I think I got a quote, I'm not sure if it was $17 a piece for their expired ones.
Oh, okay.
And I don't really care that they're expired. They're training anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm like, can I get 100? And the guy's like, no. I think it was 25. And I go, okay, put it on a bid. Let me send it to Johnny. So, here it is, but it's $17 versus $50. It's this, it doesn't matter. Taser doesn't look at anything different. No court's going to look and say, well, you didn't use it. Actually, they'll probably look at it better, because it's not a training cartridge. It's actually a true live cartridge. So, so we're just trying to really make things better and have all the officers trained properly, so that, we have it the right way. So, like I said, I'm hoping that we can have the A-Ride class here. So, but trying to pull strings with OPATA and stuff like that. So whatever we can do this year, if not, I'll be pushing hard for 2026.
Good job.
That's it. Sorry, I talked too much.
No, it's okay.
Go ahead, ask any
It's all
questions.
good information.
How many dog calls did you get? Never mind.
Dog calls? None. But I had a call for someone that had the wrong mail, but we're good.
Hey, Chief, did you get a hold of OC just for that grant thing? Because we submitted a grant based off of the Axon quote.
Yes,
I'm curious if we could amend that, or
I'm gonna try to, because that quote for that, the way the grant is, it's only for 2 years. So you have to,
we can't front load it, just say we're gonna have a 5-year package, or is it only allow you to,
it's reimbursable.
right, but could we submit the full, say it is Axon, which I guess given our quotes and Motorola and the other one, probably the preferred based on annual costs for the packages that come with it, because that's how they make their money, right? Just like Microsoft with their licensing for emails, right? It's a software package, cloud
Correct.
storage that they sell. But if we could get the full amount reimbursable, so we'll have to outlay the money, then it's not so bad. It'll just be the maintenance of it 5 years from now, but they give you a new body camera every 2 years. So there is a benefit with Axon that I don't know if Motorola.
Motorola gives new cameras every 2 years.
New cameras too.
So it's really, Axon, I think, is just giving a long, big quote. Like they talked about 2 terabytes of storage, and I'm like, we'll never use 2 terabytes of storage.
I assume that quote that we had probably had a lot of fluff in it.
Yeah,
That we didn't need.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to go through that. He's itching to get that deal, and I'm like, yeah, it's not happening that quickly.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna look at if we can amend it, if we want to go with a different vendor, can we go with a different vendor? Because again, you can buy them on Amazon for $150 a piece and throw them out every 6 months and still be cheaper than $48,000 here. So, and I'm not sure that you're gonna, again, OVIs, arrest, or something that's major is what we really need it for. You know, dealing with the dog complaint, we really don't, we're not gonna really save it, you know?
I look at them to protect the officer. right,
Absolutely.
From false claims or such.
It's great for court, you know, it's great for court to be able to play that body camera and explain why that person was arrested or have you. So, yeah, I'm definitely digging into all that to see what we can do, because, but I just, like $48,000 just to me is, when he said that number, I was like, it's for 3 cameras?
We were,
Right.
nicely sold a bill of goods often that we didn't believe, and it's all coming to fruition. That a lot of the information that we thought was untrue.
I got a question with regard to the grant. When we turned in that grant, we are then tied into that specific vendor.
We asked for the money based off, so the money that was asked for was tied to the grant or to the quote that we received. So we asked for $48,000 or whatever it was that quote was at that time, because that's probably a new quote that we had to get up to, because there's probably no record of that quote going out. So yeah, the grant would be for that specific quote plus the write-up of that.
To that specific vendor. So we couldn't take that 48,000 and apply it to some other vendor that was gonna save us money.
Because the description of the grant application likely
I see.
puts out that quotation as the thing, and then the redaction software and the storage and all that, the transcription software that was included.
That's why you have to amend it.
Yeah, see, what my understanding through Action was, it's only for, the grant only pays for the first 2 years, that's it. So the next 3 years would be on us. So if you divide 48,000 out of 5 years, it's still probably $9,500 per year.
Yeah.
Which, you know, if it's tried and true that many departments are using the Motorola, and we haven't even negotiated. That was just a quote that they sent over the phone after talking to them for 30 minutes. So, you know, I'd like to see if we can amend it and then try to negotiate for what's the best deal out there, and maybe get into demo, have them come out there and demo it for village council too, and say, hey, here's what you can have, because you know, Accent wanted to come out, and I'm like, yeah, for $48,000, those better be gold. I mean, you know, so it's
Rate
just,
tickets too.
right. So it's, you know, I will definitely look into that tomorrow. I'll make some phone calls on
Yeah.
that tomorrow.
You got a lot.
But you know, it's just trying to really get an understanding of all this stuff of what we need to really do and what we need to focus on. But believe it or not, there's just even the backdrop of trying to get officers on our roster properly, then trying to get the CPTs, because the CPT deadline was December 15th, and trying to get everybody up. So I was on the phone with a lot of people saying, hey, get online right now. You got 6 hours left to go, you know. But the nice part is we're going to get a check from the state for all those officers that we're primary on. So based for their hours, based on their salary, their hourly rate and everything else. So again,
Good stuff.
All positive side.
yeah, we're trying to do the best we can. And, you know, like I said, you know, we're going to get everybody's roles in line properly, you know. Wright's going to work on a bunch of different projects where I have been working on. You know, I called him up on the phone the one day and I said, hey, is $48,000 per body camera sound good to you? And he goes, what? He goes, how many cameras? And I go, I'll just email you the quote, you know, because he was on a DOA, and he's like, I'll read it while I'm waiting for the coroner. And I go, okay, no problem. You know, he's like, are you kidding me? And I go, yeah, I wish I was, you know.
Yeah, I didn't want to steal your thunder, and I knew you were gonna talk about it, but there's been quite the police presence on Lakeshore. Most residents, speak for myself, can't speak for all the residents, but pleasantly surprised that there is a way to sit and, you know, find speed violations.
And not the same place all the time.
Yes.
They were in the
Right.
Dollar General
Yeah.
a lot. They were at the end of the drive. They were over in the church, or not the church, but I guess it is a church.
Yeah, Officer Webb, right? I think he was on, and he was like chasing something. We saw him as we were going to get lunch over at Nick's. I've got calls from family members saying, why is Timberlake over in Eastlake? They're over in Willoughby. And I'm like, well, it's mutual aid for departments that we neighbor. And that, I think, is what I've always wanted to see out of the police department, because there is a lot of traffic and speeders out on Lakeshore. And I owe you access to once you get settled, I didn't want to bombard you with, and I know you got a lot to uncover and messes to clean up, but the speed camera.
Absolutely.
Database, so you guys can, your officers can even pull it up and look at the hours of time and use that data, so that they're not having to I don't think it's ever a waste of time to sit up there, but if there's other things they could be doing that are more valuable. They could target the highest peak hours.
Funny thing was too, Matt Gorse actually sat up on Lake Shore and did a little radar too, which was the first time in all his time here. So he kind of feels a little bit refreshed as well. So, you know, again, we're gonna look at what officers need additional training on, retrained on, and look at a lot of different things.
So
So,
you're saying that police officers like doing actual police work?
yes.
Figure.
What
Glad
you
to have
know.
Imagine that.
Okay,
Okay.
Good job.
thank you, chief. Great
Sorry
job.
sorry
so
for that
far.
lengthy conversation.
Well
I just
received.
want to say that we did hear back from the Ohio Attorney General, and they are going to approve our reimbursement for the body armors
Oh,
Good.
great, good news, thank you,
for the 75% match part.
yes.
The officers will be paying the rest, so
Great.
there's no such thing as freeze.
But then they own them though,
They own the best.
they'll be theirs, yeah,
Right. And not a single officer balked with that, because I'm like, here you go. And actually, one of the officers like, I want to get on the next grant. I'm like, I might have a vest for you. If we all know whose vest that is.
Yeah. Okay.
all right,
Zoning and property maintenance.
okay, we have one contractor registration and one roof permit, and that was it for the month, I think, maybe because of the weather. Purchases and approvals, do I have a motion to approve the November 2024 financial report, please? Mr. Joyce made a motion, Mr. Conrad second, discussion? None being heard, roll call please.
Mr. Joyce.
Aye.
Mrs. Joyce.
Aye.
Mrs. Hardwick.
Aye.
Mrs. Smara.
Aye.
Mr. Conrad.
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
Aye.
Okay, next public portion again, second part, anyone?
Question, but it's not about what we discovered.
Okay,
I'll make a quick comment. I just want to say that, hearing you speak just now, Chief Dalton, enthusiastic with everything that you're working on. It really makes your passion for police work in this department and this village very apparent. So thank you.
It's actually kind of giving me another breath of fresh air, believe it or not. Feel alive again. So, thank you.
and just want to before we close here, I just want to thank everyone on council for their helping me out this year, all that they did as far as on the committees. I mean, it's all help to me because again, ultimately, I'm still responsible for it all, and you know, it's a big help that you guys all pitch in and help in, you know, whatever needs to be done. And new chief, thank you, Chief Dolben, for coming on and doing what you're doing. So far, I'm very impressed and very happy with what you're doing. So just keep up the good work. And John Roskis, thank you. Great job. I mean, I can't ask for a better fiscal officer. So he just does a tremendous job, always prepared. Everything's perfect. And he always finds all the little errors and make sure our T's are crossed and our I's are dotted, which is, as you know, necessary to run the government. And Mr. O'Leary, thank you so much for being a solicitor for, is it a year and a half, 2 years, right? It's your second year. Yeah.
It just seems like.
Is it about 10?
It seems longer. I don't know.
It's more than two.
It's more than two.
We're here like 6 months or a year before me, so.
Yeah.
COVID, so.
COVID, we had. a
Came
few
during
days too.
COVID.
COVID. But again, a lot of hills that we climbed, but you know, again, we got through it all, and thank you for being, you know, it was your disposition too, you know, keeping us all calm, especially me. I'm not the calmest person always.
Really?
But anyway, but we really appreciate it, and again, we just hope that you will be around to help out more, and you know, just thank you for all the time and dedication you put in. So much
You're welcome.
appreciated. So, and we're done this. That's it. So, moving on. Anyone else want to add anything else before we close? Oh, and I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year because this will be our last meeting. So we'll see you all next year.
No special meetings in the future.
Hopefully not.
Tom, keep it, Tom, sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
No problem. Okay, anyone else want to say anything before we close out? Okay, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Mr. Conrad makes a motion. Mrs. Joyce seconds. Roll call, please.
Mr. Joyce. Aye. Mrs. Joyce.
Aye.
Mrs. Hardwick.
Aye.
Mrs. Mara.
Aye.
Mr. Conrad.
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
I.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
So, Mr. Roskis, when we lost his computer,
Yeah.
we lost sound. My wife texted me. So I went ahead and connected. So I think that there's gonna be a gap there. It'll be a Nixon, 13 minutes or whatever, no, whatever time it is. But hopefully it's not too much.
Your wife gonna check on you, make sure you are where you say.
She wanted to come tonight and I said,